Parshat Vayigash opens with the Yehuda's plea for the survival and the life of Binyamin. Instead of being a slave in Egypt, he is ready to be in his place. He's ready to be the slave as long as Binyamin should go back to his father. At this point, at the end of this very, very powerful plea, where he ends in Pasuk Lamed Daled, for how can I go up to my father if the youth is not with me, lest I see the evil that will befall my father. At this point, now Yosef could not restrain himself in the presence of all who stood before him. V'lo yachol Yosef litapek. So he called out, Hotziu kol ish v'alai, remove everyone from before me. Thus no one remained with him when Yosef made himself known to his brothers. He cried in a loud voice. Egypt heard, Pharaoh's household heard, and he told his brothers, Ani Yosef ha'od avichai. Very, very poignant and powerful part of our parsha. And then after the revelation, he invites the brothers to hurry, bring down his father, and to indeed stay in Egypt until during the years of the famine. I'd like to focus in on this one pasuk of V'lo yachol Yosef litapek. And Yosef was unable to restrain himself. And it's a very obvious question the Josh David, all the Mefarshim ask in source 3, Madua lo yachol haya Yosef litapek kefi shitapek bevechyav harishon. What happened now that changed, that Yosef HaTzadik was unable to hold himself back? Well, we've had in Parshat Miketz a number of times when he saw the brothers, when he saw Binyamin, he cries, he has an emotional reaction, he holds himself back, he collects himself, comes back into the room. What happens here that Joseph is unable to hold himself back? As well as we need to understand this whole imagery of Hotziu kol ish ma'alai, remove everyone from this room, until the pasuk goes on to say, thus no one remained with him. Well, if everyone was removed, therefore isn't it clear that there was no one with him? What is that extra phrase coming to teach us? And obviously, the overall question is that everything in Chumash, as we always ask, is l'netzach, is to teach us lessons. What are some of the ideas that we can learn from the parsha for our own lives? So, what happened now? So the Ber Yosef, in a very practical approach, Rav Yosef Salant notes the following in source number 4. He says, "Hinei kefi shetirgem Onkelos v'chein pireish Ramban sheitapkud hi melashon chozek." Hainu shelo yachol od litchazek v'linaker. He couldn't have the strength to remain as a stranger, but rather he was muchrach kvar litvadal lachav. He was forced to reveal himself to his brothers. Mashma mizeh is that if he im hayan yachol od litapek, then he wouldn't have revealed himself. But there was something happened here that he couldn't hold himself back. What was the thing that changed? So Ber Yosef goes on to explain that Yosef HaTzadik knew, and this is based on the Ramban and others, that if he saw these dreams, the dreams of the sheaves bowing down to him, the dreams of the sun and the stars, and a sun, moon, and stars bowing down to him, he understood that it was for him to have these dreams become fulfilled. If he wasn't shown these dreams, so then Mamela, if it happens, it happens, it doesn't, it doesn't. But the fact that he was shown these dreams, so therefore, in the bracket in 5, hu kadeshi shtadel hu gamkein lo tziam l'pol, he on some level felt the responsibility to bring them into fruition. Shim lav kein lo yumurim lo mashayab b'li shum toelet. Otherwise, why show him these dreams? So he has the first dream come true. The 11 brothers bow down to him, great. Now he needs to, 10 brothers bow down to him, great. But now he needs to have the 11 stars. He needs to have Binyamin bow down to him, which happens in this last parsha. But part of the dream is the sun and the moon bowing down to him. So Yosef HaTzadik understands that he also needs to have his father bow down to him, and he would much prefer his father bowing down to him, not knowing who he is. Can you imagine the humiliation he would feel that his father would bow down to him, knowing he was his son Yosef? That he couldn't bear. So Yosef HaTzadik went through all of this, which seems to be so harsh and so cruel, acting as a total stranger. He was doing this really as nevuah, to have this prophecy of these dreams come to fulfillment. And he was going to maintain this stance all the way through, until Yehuda's plea. When Yehuda is pleading now, that if I don't bring Binyamin back, Yaakov Avinu will not be able to remain alive. You're going to bring him down to his death. Then he realized, middle of 6, Im kain lo yachol Yosef litapek yoter v'lotzi lepo machshavato zot. He realized that if he wasn't going to able to have Yaakov Avinu survive, then there's no way the dream's going to be fulfilled anyway. So, Imanavshach, Memela, he has no option. If this is going to bring the demise of his father, God forbid, he's forced to reveal himself, even though it pains him that he'll have to reveal himself